There's not a lot I enjoy more than coloring someone else's work, especially when it's someone as awesome as Todd McFarlane. Joe Madureira is a close second. I love coloring over these two, but especially when I'm trying something new, such as this really bright on the left side, you can see this really bright kind of highlight slash rim light. That's what I'm working on. And what I'm going to do in this video is just go through layer by layer and just talk about kind of what I'm doing and then do a little bit more coloring on this video. And you can see how I'm actually going through the process. So with that being said, let's get into it. So up in the corner, you can see the original page, the original panel. And obviously it's different. You can see why Marvel decided to alter it. And it's really unfortunate because that's not what the artist wanted. And it's not like it was, I mean, I guess they do this in movies too, which, I get it. Like, that's why there's director's cuts and things like that. And there's a lot of scenes that get shot that are not ultimately used in the film or the TV show, or in this case, in the comic. They just didn't like the way he originally drew it. But I digress. Going through this, let me go ahead and I'm going to turn off all of the coloring layers, and then I'll turn them back on later, and we can, like, one by one, and we can see how it goes. So right here, this is basically my selection layer. I started out, as you can probably tell, making it my color layer because I started doing it in a different style, and I really ended up not liking it. So I'm going back to the grayscale coloring style that I've played with before. I don't know. At this moment in time, I feel like it is the way to go. So we'll see, but if this one turns out really well, I will keep it going until something else comes along. But that's the selection layer. This is the base layer. This is the gray. I obviously have a couple of areas that I didn't exactly finish, but this thing right here, I don't know what to call it. You can see right here, that is this set as reference layer. Now, when you have the magic wand or the auto select, in Clip Studio's case, selected, you have a couple of options. So you have refer to editing layer only, selection for referred layers, and this refer to all layers. I never use it. I'm not even going to bother. I know I don't need it. Let's start with this one, refer to editing layers only, or editing layer only. That means that I am on this layer, and whatever I select is going to be selected. It's just like normal. So for example, and it doesn't matter that this is on the selections layer. I'm on the gray, and there you go. So I'm selecting the base gray layer because that's the layer that I'm on. That's the editing layer. If I were to select selection from referred layers, however, now you can see that this does matter because I'm taking the selection from another layer than the one that's active. I hope that makes sense. I use it all the time. I absolutely love it. And again, just to take a look at it with the selections, you can see that in gray, these are all the same. But on the selection layer, there's the green and the red, and then I made this purple. I made his shoulder purple because otherwise his nose overlaps his shoulder and then goes into the finger. And I don't want to select all of these things. I want to be able to select the specific one that I want. So that's the way that works, and hope that made sense. All right. The first thing I do is basically do the brightest as I call it over here, Crazy Sun. So I'll turn that on just so you can see. This is where it starts. So this is like the left side of Juggernauts, the left side of Shatterstar. It's everything that's as close, everything closest to the explosion. And then I also do a second one that really brightens it up. And then there is a highlight, which I only really used right here on Juggernaut's bracelet, I guess, wristband, if you want to call it that. I will add more later, but for right now, I haven't really used that much. Now these are on the top, and these are on top of the hue change, which I have set to multiply at 20%. This is what I don't want this affected by anything else. This is just meant to be super bright, super yellow. It could be, of course, there could be cases where it's green or blue or something else. But for right now, it's yellow, especially because this is an explosion, which generally are orange and yellow in color. These are, so, all right, so let's see how to explain it. I have these set to add glow at 100%, add glow, add glow, add glow. And that's just one of these drop downs right here. I use a gray that is right here, 95, 95, 95 in the RGB, or 0037 HSV. That just happens to be what I'm using. You can always change it with the hue, saturation, and luminosity option after the fact. So it doesn't really matter, but this is where I like to start. And then on top of that, I have a normal layer, and you can see this little pink line, vertical line on the left. That's this clip to layer below. So that's going to keep the value, the gray value, the same. If I don't have that, you can see, well, obviously that's not what I want, but this is what it looks like. And you could always come in here if you really wanted to and clean it up. Like for example, on his finger down here on the bottom, on the third panel, but it's not important right now. So we'll click this again, and it's the same thing with the other one. You can see it's a little bit different when I add this. I guess I did something with his fingers over here. I probably did it on the wrong layer, but these are set to normal with the clip layer, clip to layer below. And I just use this yellow. It's kind of a little bit of an orangey yellow, a goldish color. Of course, you can use whatever you want. So that's where I'll start. So just as an example, let me see if there's any place that I can still sort of do this. Probably not. But yeah, you know what? I can probably do a little bit on Juggernaut's face right here. So when I look at this, I'm on the base gray. The selections is what has the little icon. So I need to be on refer to or selection for referred layers. That's where I need to be. So now on this, I can select here. Actually, I might go in and change the shoulder to a different color on the selections, because as you can see, these do kind of touch, and it's not going to matter right now for what I'm doing, but it is something to keep in mind going forward. I start up here, Crazy Sun, level 1, basically. And I've got my gray, go to the airbrush. And I'm going to make the airbrush the right size. And I do that. Now that's because I already have this on. I would normally probably just work in gray, but either way, not a big deal. And then I go to transparent pixels with a pen, set to mapping pen. and I'm on the mask. So this is kind of like an eraser. And I'm going to just kind of, and this is actually, I was doing something else. So over here on the tool properties brush size, I'm going to click that little button and turn on the pen pressure and the tilt. So now it has pressure sensitivity based on me pressing harder, or again, like the tilt. But I'm going to come in here and just kind of figure out, where I want it to sort of cut in. And that's probably fine. And then sometimes I'll come in, it doesn't matter what color it is, as long as it's not transparent, it's going to bring everything back. So you can kind of see how it's painting back in these colors. And then I'll just do the same thing over here with the next one, with the brightest one. You can see how bright that is. It's pretty super bright, and exactly the same steps. So just, I like to see a little bit of kind of like the overlap of what I was doing before. I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Not necessary. And then I'm going to paint in over here because I kind of messed up. So that would be the way I do that part. So that's just an example there. All right. Okay, and back to the page. This is what it looks like. I did just a very minor little touch up, but this is what it looks like so far. And just for brevity, I don't want this video to go like super long. Plus, if you've noticed, the editing with the panels was kind of crazy. And to be honest, it took a long time because I'm experimenting not only with my coloring, but also with my YouTubing and my editing. So I'm learning new things. I'm trying different things out, as always. That's just the way it goes with me. And the way I did this video is probably not the way I'm going to do it again. It was too time consuming, but I would love to hear your comments if you have any thoughts about the style of editing or the quality of the video or the audio, or was it hard to follow? Was it all over the place? Did you like it? Was it cool? Just whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comments. Also, please like the video if you liked the video. And if you didn't, then thanks for watching until this far. I appreciate that. And subscribe if you want to see more. I'm definitely going to be putting a lot more effort into the editing and the presentation. I'm not sure what the actual content is going to be yet at this point, but I do hope you liked it. It was fun to make. Just took a little bit longer than I would like, but it's a learning process. So again, this is the way the comic page looks right now. Let me know if you like it. Do you even want to see me finish it? Or would you rather see me work on something different? Because I have a lot of different ideas, but I don't want to get this far into the page and then kind of skip out on the whole point of making the video, which is the explosion. So I think I definitely will finish it, but either way, that's going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.